Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Divine Feminine Healers podcast. It is your host, Angelica, intuitive healer. And today on the podcast, I'm going to share the messages that came through for the month of April. I'm also going to weave in the astrological transits that we're having in April. Overall, the energy feels really bright. It feels like a heavy lifting and lots of clarity coming up to the surface. There's also a lot of change that's going to occur this month that we're really going to feel in our physical bodies and see in our physical reality. So with that, we're going to feel this oscillation between high vibrational energy and the low vibrational energy. And that's just because your energy is alchemizing as a whole right now. So a lot of these messages, I'm going to share the polarity of them to know that you may experience the spectrum of it, and just to recognize when you are in that higher vibration and how you can stay in that state, and just recognize when you're falling back into those lower vibrational states and pull yourself back in. Okay, so let's get into it. Right away, when I first channeled for this month of April, I saw sunshine energy, and this really relates to you and your visibility. A lot of you have been working on strengthening confidence and your intuitive gifts, just your skills in general. And this is the month where you kind of let it all hang out. The clouds are really parting. You're getting really clear in who you are. You're getting really confident in what you do. And there's no more hiding different parts of yourself. You're just going to be totally honest and let yourself shine and be in the spotlight and take up space and do so unapologetically, because you've done enough work to know that it serves the greater more when you share all parts of yourself, and you're excited about it. Like, this is something that you've been working on, and now you're really going to make yourself be visible, which is so awesome to hear and see. Now, the lower vibration of this energy is whenever we're making ourselves visible, we're going to get a lot of positive feedback, and that's also going to come with the polarity of possibly getting negative feedback. So this isn't to scare you of like, oh my God, what are people going to say about me? I don't want to post. I don't want to get canceled. It's nothing like that. It is simply, if this does come up for you, it's just a reflection on how you can build more confidence in yourself. So, for example, when I first started putting myself out there on Instagram, which I loathed entirely, I was terrified mainly because I learned from some of the best teachers in yoga and Ayurveda, and I was worried that someone was going to call me out for not having enough experience. Like, who am I to start sharing this information when people have been studying it their whole entire lives, and all that stuff. And so, of course, when I started to share on Instagram, I got comments that reflected that insecurity that I was holding on to. And for a while, I took the bait, and then I would not post, and I would like crawl back into my corner, and then I would kind of oscillate, right? And then be like, okay, no, I like really want to share this, and I feel so passionate about Ayurveda and how much it could heal everyone. And so it really took that kind of like push and pull back. But this type of energy feels like you don't need to revolt and curl back into those old habits, because you know what it is. You're going to see it as a reflection of, oh, that comment is just coming up because I'm still a little bit insecure in this place. And now I can learn how to find more confidence in myself from a truer place and really step up to the plate. So don't take the bait. If someone gives you that negative feedback, see it as an opportunity of where you may still have some low insecurities and how you can integrate them into being fully confident in your gifts and radiate fully. You're going to receive negative feedback. And honestly, just take that as a compliment, because that's making yourself being really known and visible and not caring what other people say. You can't control that. And what I love also about being an intuitive, yes, it's sharing this divine wisdom, but I also feel like an artist. Like, I'm sharing my art. I'm sharing the unique way that spirit is connecting with me and wanting to share this information. And when I share my art, all I care about is that connection that I have to source, letting it feel good for me and just getting it out there. And that's all that matters. I don't really care what happens after that. It doesn't matter, because I was able to share my art. So always come back to that belief when you're going through this. And like I said, not all of us are going to experience this, but remind yourself that you are meant to stay in the light. You are meant to shine really bright this month. And with that, it's going to come with a lot of clarity and a lot of release of that heavy energy that you may have been going through in the beginning months. So it's going to feel a lot lighter. Another message that came through, I see a lot of you just really embodying being in your power, being in your queen energy. So I saw a lot of you sitting on your throne as your queen self, and when you're in your power, you naturally just attract opportunities, you attract the right relationships to you. And it comes with a sense of gratitude. Like, you're super grateful for all these things that are coming towards you, but it also comes from a strong inner knowing of like, yeah, of course I'm magnetizing these things towards me. I have done all this work. I have worked to get to this point. Like, of course it does. I understand the way that energetics work. I give so much content and value to my community. Of course people are going to want to come to me for this thing. Like, it just makes sense and it just clicks. And that is like I think the best form of magnetism is just really knowing who you are and knowing that you're worthy of this giving and receiving and this flow of the universe. Like, I just see you really understanding how the energetics of abundance really works because you are embodying your power. Now, being in your power means that some people may question your authority. And again, you just recognizing and noticing if that comes up, that is not meant for you to relinquish your power or step away from your throne. It is just showing you where you're still insecure about being in your power, if that does come up for you. Another message that came up, I saw this as a windfall of total spiritual fulfillment and feeling really supported by the universe. So a lot of you maybe have been questioning, am I getting messages? Am I feeling connected to my guides? And there's going to really be certain signs and symbols that are shown to you this month that are so unmistakable, that make you feel so connected to divine and be like, whoa, I feel so supported. This is crazy. Supported in a way that you haven't felt like ever. And this is really just kind of setting the pace of how you're going to start living your life and really trusting these symbols, really trusting these messages that are coming from spirit. And the lower vibration of this message is feeling like you're all alone on your spiritual path. So we kind of have to go through this process when we go on our spiritual journey. We get really interested in all these things about spirituality, but we feel lonely because maybe our friends and our family members don't understand or not interested and curious about those things. So we have to walk on this path alone. And then all of a sudden the crystals and the tarot cards kind of disappear and it gets really dark because we have to look at our shadows and the parts of ourselves that are uncomfortable. And we're feeling like we're still walking that path alone. So for a while, you may have felt like you've had to do this on your own. You've had to do this healing work on your own. You've kind of had to take care of yourself, this very hyper independence, lone wolf type of energy. And it served you well to really assert your independence, to really know what you need and want and go on that path. But this type of spiritual fulfillment that you're going to feel this month is telling you that you were never actually alone. Even though it looked dark when you were going down your spiritual path, it was only because you didn't have the resources to see the spirit guides that were all around you, the signs that were pulsating and showing you and holding your hand throughout the whole process. But now that you can see those, it's so much more enjoyable to walk this spiritual path. And spiritual fulfillment is like the ultimate form of abundance, in my opinion, because you know that no matter what, you're never alone. You're always supported and your angels are always there for you. The next message that came through, I saw this as like a huge stroke of insight coming through, like a thunderbolt that could really change the way that you see the world. I know this can kind of sound a little bit scary. And honestly, when I heard this message, like, it just felt very sharp and strong and clear, like a bolt of energy. This makes sense because we just got off of eclipse season, and eclipses are fated events. It's said to bring on fated events that could really change the trajectory of our life and our destiny. And that's because eclipses are ruled by the North Node and the South Node of the Moon. The South Node represents our past lives and karmic cycles. The North Node being our destinies and our desires, what we're drawn towards. And so that's why it's fate. It's unshackling us from the cycles of our past and our generational traumas, and then freeing us and liberating us to go towards what we desire and what we are meant for in this lifetime. So I see something kind of shaking up your world in the best way and putting you on the path towards your destiny this month. That's just going to naturally happen towards you. Now, this is where change is going to occur, right? Like, this thing is really going to change the way maybe you go about your career. Maybe it really changes a relationship. Like, it changes a lot of things. And although we want new beginnings, although we want to go closer to our destiny, initially when that change comes through, it can feel like, oh, I'm scared. All of a sudden, the thing that we've been wanting for so long, we're like, oh my gosh, now that it's here, I'm very scared to receive this. I'm very scared for the next step because there's an unknown to it. You don't know what's going to happen. You've never done this before. A lot of things can be coming up to the surface. So just recognize that that would be the lower vibration that comes up, is that fear. And that's just how change happens. If you think about it, like, of course, fear is always going to come up when there's change because you're going to the unknown. You're having to release this comfortable part of you, what used to be known to you for so long, how you used to live your life for so long, you now have to release and blindly go into this unknown and trust that it's leading you towards your destiny. So just recognize when that fear comes up and tell yourself, all right, this is part of the process. This is a change that I've been asking for. I'm scared, but I'm going to do it scared. And it's also like comes with an excitement and a giddiness too. So even though fear is there, like, you're excited. So just know that it's going to feel uncomfortable because change usually comes with discomfort. We're human beings, but it's going to lead you closer towards your destiny and really align you with it. Next message that came through, I see, to me, the ultimate form of success, I've really been meditating on this for these past couple of months, is just inner peace, right? No matter what is going on in our world around us, there's always going to be something thrown at us. It may feel chaotic, and it's like, you can't control it. But the one thing that you do have sovereignty over is maintaining your sense of inner peace. Now, this is a message that's actually been unfolding since the beginning of January, my guides were telling me. So as you recall, in the beginning of January, I said that anxiety may be coming up to the surface. I don't know about you. I talked about this on my IG Live yesterday, but I was so anxious in January and February. It felt so out of my body. It felt crazy because, of course, I've been devoted to this path of yoga and meditating for 12 years now. And to feel so out of body and anxious felt like, I felt like at a loss almost. But in a world of polarity, that anxiety was an invitation to ground deeper into your body and to connect deeper into your body. So as you recall, one of my messages for January was to really start connecting with the mindfulness practice. I did a lot of one-on-ones with you. A lot of you did Qigong or started meditating, and maybe you had this like some movement practice. Then in February, this message evolved into really being disciplined and committing every day to this practice so that you could ground deeper into your body and help to really release that anxiety. So it really was just kind of like, I don't know why I'm doing this, but I'm just going to commit to it all the way through. And that really was growing your confidence. Then in March, you started to really see the reason why you were connected to this mindfulness practice is because it connected you deeper to spirit. When you were in that state of, in that mindfulness practice where everything kind of slows down and you're focused inward, you realize there's a deep relationship with source. And for me, this has just made me deepen my relationship to source on a level that I never had before. And if it wasn't for that anxiety that I experienced in January and February, why would I be invited to go deeper and to really be pushed into going deeper into my mindfulness practice, right? Like sometimes we need that discomfort. Now in April, we are really starting to see how this mindfulness practice is so embodied in you that you are starting to see how this translates, and you're seeing the world around you as a state of inner peace. Now, this is tricky because in one way you would be looking at the world and be like, well, there's still like kind of chaos happening around me. Like there's still things that are crazy that are still happening in the world. But because you build this inner sanctuary of peace within you, it's like you are able to create that peaceful environment for yourself. Even though you can't control the things that are happening in the world around you, you feel at peace because you have now build this inner sanctuary of peace within you. Tag alonging with this gentle peacefulness state of being. There's a lot of Aries energy coming in this month. So we have the sun in Aries, we have Neptune that just moved into Aries, and a couple other planets will be moving into the sign of, it's the first sign of the zodiac. It's like, let's go. It's related to Mars energy. It's very self-motivating. It's very passionate. It's very action-oriented. So some of us are going to feel like, whoo, it's ready to take action. All my fire signs. I don't know about you, but I'm so excited for this. I love taking action. And there is going to be that clarity this month. There's going to be action that's going to be taken just naturally with this Aries energy. However, there's still planets that are going to be in Pisces, which is still that energy of feeling and moving at a slower pace and feeling it into your intuition. So as much as you're going to want to take action, and then maybe in the past you would have been like pedal to the metal and just go hard into your masculine energy, you have to really take in what you've learned about tuning into your emotions, tuning into your intuition, and moving at a slow and steady pace. That is how you're going to maintain the state of inner peace that you have so beautifully worked out. So although the action will come in, try not to go pedal to the metal and all your masculine energy and be like, oh, it's totally go time. Instead, take action while also maintaining your state of inner peace. That slow, steady, healthy pace is going to get you exactly where you want to be, because you're not taking your energy for granted anymore. Okay, now this brings me to our last message, which was one of my favorites. And this message came like a big question mark. Like, there's some surprise that the universe is going to bring you this month that you do not see coming, that you do not know what it is, and you're not meant to know what it is. Now, I know a lot of you are intuitive, and maybe already you're kind of thinking what it could be. And you may be right about that direction, but how it's coming in is going to catch you completely off guard and put you in this state of shock and wonder, and bring and ignite this childlike spirit within you. And that is why the universe wants to surprise you. This is going to be a total wish fulfillment. So something that you've really been wanting for a long time. So in that sense, you might kind of sense what it is, but how it comes in is going to totally catch you off guard in the most exciting of ways. I love this message so much because I think a lot of us are really waking up to the idea that it's so important as adults that we get back to that childlike state, that we bring ourselves into awe and wonder. And truly, one of my favorite parts of being on this planet Earth is those qualities of being in shock, being in wonder. Like, how beautiful to be surprised by the universe. Like, you get that giddy excitement feeling. And on top of it, it's a total wish fulfillment. So it's something you've been wanting for so long, like just the best type of energies molded together as one. So with that, try to detach yourself from trying to predict how it's going to happen and trying to almost like, keep yourself so close-minded that it has to happen in a single way, because that's going to keep you further away from being surprised by the universe and letting it come in the way that it really needs to, right? So this is that process of just like letting go and detaching on how it's supposed to come in, and trusting that the universe is going to bring you it in the most beautiful of ways that you will not necessarily see coming. Okay, so those are the main messages that I channeled for the month. Now, I see the beginning of the month still kind of starting out a bit slow, as we have Venus and Mercury still in retrograde. Mercury will go direct on April 7th. Venus will go direct on April 12th. So this is where I think we're going to feel this oscillation of change between those higher vibrations of the messages I shared and the lower vibrations the most. But come mid-April, we have Mars moving into Leo, which is just a huge shift for a lot of my fire signs and those who are ruled by Mars, a lot of Aries and Scorpio placements. It's going to feel really good once Mars moves into Leo on April 18th, because this closes out that cycle where Mars had been in Cancer. He was in his weaker state in Cancer, and then he was also in retrograde for 3 months. Even though he's been direct since the end of February, now that Mars is moving into a fire sign again, you're going to have that action-oriented, clarity type of energy that's going to be coming forward. Then, of course, also around April, I believe it's April 17th, we'll have our full moon in Virgo, and then the sun moves into Taurus. Taurus is the sign of abundance. So all these messages about fulfillment and abundance like really are going to be sustained by our sun moving into Taurus. And then we'll close out the month with our new moon in Taurus on April 27th, and then Venus moving into Aries. So that is the month of April. I love the messages that came through. I'm super excited for the month of April. Bring the clarity, bring the sunshine. I hope these messages resonated with you. If you love this episode, please share it with a friend or a family member who would love it too. And if you're wanting more specific messages, I go live on IG every Wednesday, sometimes Thursdays, usually around 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I do mini intuitive card readings. They're completely free. All you have to do is show up live and put your first and your last name. They're absolutely so fun to do. I love being able to connect with all of you in that way. And If you're wanting just deeper and more specific messages for this month of April, you can catch me on there. And then, of course, you can always book in for a one-on-one intuitive healing session if you're wanting even more specific reading for you. All right, everyone, that is all that I have for today. Wishing you so much love and blessings for this month, and I will see you next time.